Hello and welcome. This video is brought to you by thestreamingadvisor.com. Tailor your entertainment with streaming. What we're going to do in this video is show you what I think of as the best free services out there for streaming that give you a lot to work with. There's numerous streaming services that are free, but the ones we're going to look at kind of give you a more traditional TV, almost cable-like experience with multiple channels, broken up, often into genres. A lot of these apps also give you a good selection of on-demand content as well as live or curated content. Some of the channels really are live channels. Some of them are kind of built on the library content that they have the rights to, and therefore they package it all up for you so you can just sit back, lean back, watch TV, and relax. So, without further ado, let's jump into the first selection. And that first selection, my friends, is Pluto TV. Pluto TV has been with us for a long time. They were one of the very first in this field. Pluto TV is owned at this point by Paramount Incorporated. They own CBS, they own Paramount Studios, they own Showtime. So you'll find Pluto TV with a lot of channels based on the content that they control. Things, channels based on Nickelodeon shows or Nick at Night or Showtime. There's sections on Star Trek, shows like that. Anything that they can get a hold of that they actually own is on there, as well as a lot of stuff that is from outside of their studio, just cool channels, like things like watching trains go across the countryside and just relaxing things like that. Pluto TV has been growing and growing and growing ever since it started, and it's gotten to be a real standard bearer for this kind of content, which is why we started the video with it. You see that the interface is easy to use. It's pretty intuitive. As you see on the left, you have your different categories, and each category that you click on opens up a new group of choices. And as you scroll through, you'll jump to the end of a category and into a new one. Pluto TV also has a very extensive selection of on-demand content. Again, the on-demand content is broken up into all of these different genres. You see, the holiday stuff, Christmas stuff, faith-based stuff. It's got a ton of them. It's got more than most, even the premium channels. So that's Pluto TV. On a very different take is Stir. Stir is owned by Sinclair, and what Stir is really great for is it has a lot of content from over-the-air channels that Stir owns, as well as a couple of others that it has worked with. It also has a selection of just, I wouldn't call it a grab bag. It's just a lot of stuff, a lot of content from, various free streaming services. Again, like Pluto TV, you see a very logical grid on the left that breaks things down into categories. You can scan through and see what's coming up through the day. And the thing that I think is interesting about Stir, though, is that its on-demand section actually features shows from the over-the-air channels that don't usually have on-demand apps themselves. And I'll show you what we mean as soon as this loads. So, you jump in here and you see things like, you'll see Comet and Charge, channels that are actual over-the-air channels. And when you click on it, what it allows you to do is see a group of episodes, like as they've been airing. Looks like they're stuck on season, they're going through different seasons because this is just an in-syndication show. But CSI being more of an episodic show, it's just a matter of enjoying the episodes that are available. They also have a small selection of movies. It's not gigantic, But in general, what I think is great about Stir is the way that they access so many channels that you would otherwise need an antenna or maybe even a cable service to get. It's going to give you as local a news as you can get. Zumo is another program that has been around for a long time. Zumo these days is owned by Comcast, and with that, you're going to get a little bit of a Comcast flavor. Not so much as you do on Peacock, which we're going to cover later. But Zumo, what I like about Zumo, what is different about Zumo from other ones, is that if you look at the titles of the different categories, it's almost like flipping through the magazines section at a store. A lot of very, very recognizable brands, and that's always been a big thing for Zumo, is the branding. You know, you're talking about People magazine, you see Dove, TBN, but in general, Zumo has a whole lot of great content available to watch, like I said, with a live/curated section, as well as a large on-demand section. The on-demand selections include Hallmark Hall of Fame movies and just a lot of different things that are easy to find and access. Of course, like all the others, it is ad-supported. Nothing is free totally, right? Tubi TV is another good service. It's owned by Fox, at least the parts of Fox that Disney did not buy. Tubi TV includes a lot of content from Fox, things that they have the rights to these days, along with, as others do, a lot of different services, genre-based stuff, comedy, action sports, things like that. You'll see a lot of familiar names on there. Tubi section here, it's just like all the others. You have a group of selections. The only difference between this and some of the others is that, unfortunately, you don't have that grouping where you can say, I want to see the movies section or the true crime section. It's more of a dive in and explore sort of experience. But there is a lot to see here. Tubi as well has a really great online on-demand section that is easy to search, where you can find selections from various networks and services. As far as genres, it's easier to find them within the on-demand section. As well, there is the selections that are based on channels. And this will really help you zoom in on some content. If you know what channel things come on, you can click on these and, for instance, jump into the content that's directly from Fox. It's going to have things like The Masked Singer and, their competition shows. Anything that Fox has to give, you'll find it right here. But that goes the same for all of its other channel selections. You see there's more than Fox. There's A&E and a number of other networks that have teamed with Tubi here. So Tubi, again, it's a nice service. It's free, and it has a lot to check out. You're starting to pick up on the theme here. There's a lot of TV to see that does not require any payment at all. The Roku channel. Now, the Roku channel is going to be different depending on where you access it. On a Roku or a Roku-powered TV, you're going to be able to jump right in with this live TV grid that is like many others. It doesn't have a way to jump directly into genres in the live grid, but it does have a ton of stuff, and the sections are broken up whether they have a separate, title or not. All of the children's programming together, all of the news options are together. The Roku channel also has a lot of on-demand content, including its own stuff. Roku has a selection of originals that are just for the Roku channel. A lot of them came from when they bought out the service Quibi, but as they've gone forward, they've been renewing things and licensing new shows and movies. The channel is easy to navigate. It's got a way to break things up so you kind of know what you're getting into. And this is the way you're going to find the Roku channel on most other platforms outside of Roku. That includes smart TVs, other streaming devices, and so on. But that is that. Freebie is from Amazon. And what you're seeing here is actually Freebie as accessed by the Amazon app on my Roku. It breaks things down again into different sections, and it makes it pretty clear where you're getting the content. The Ion, ABC News Live, and so on. On a Fire TV device, Freebie also has this kind of just built right in. The Freebie app itself is built right in, and it can be accessed through Amazon Fire's Live TV section, which is just built into the overall interface. But on most devices, you're going to access this guide through the Amazon Prime app and going into the Live TV section. There is a lot to see. There's also sections based on Amazon's originals. You might have noticed that there's a Bosch channel, and there's a rotating selection of different material that pops up. It's a great way to watch some TV for free. It's also, there's plenty of free movies. I really like this direction that we're going here. This is what the Freebie app looks like on normal, in most everything but Amazon. This is the Freebie app for Roku. And as you see, it's still got lots of stuff. It just doesn't have the little TV grid. This is what it will look like on pretty much anything else you access it on. If you download it to a phone, or maybe it's available through whatever streaming device that you've got. Distro TV is cool. Distro TV is actually independent. Distro is owned by Distro at this point. It's not owned by any major corporation. And it's got a really eclectic mix of options. And when I say eclectic, that's not to slight it. What Freebie does really well is it has a lot more international content than I find anywhere else. It's got international news services, things from Africa and Europe. So you can get a much better perspective on the world, or at least a much more different perspective on the world as far as what's going, because they're not going to report everything as how it relates to the U.S. If you can appreciate that kind of thing, and other international flavor, as well as some cool content that you should be very familiar with, Distro TV is absolutely worth a jump. Now, Peacock TV, we mentioned earlier, Peacock TV is owned by Comcast. And what you get with Peacock TV in its channels section, which is the free grid-based section of Peacock that you can use without having any kind of subscription, is a very NBC universal type experience. It has channels based on their cable channels that Comcast owns. It has channels based on TV shows that come on NBC. So you'll find things like clips of Saturday Night Live, but you'll also find little shorts based on other shows that have been popular through NBC, like The Office or Parks and Rec and things like that. You see here, there's a Monday Night Raw section. Monday Night Raw is a USA Network show. So again, you're going to have a lot offered here. This isn't this, it's not going to allow you to do major on-demand things, but again, for a kickback, just relax, check some things out. You can keep yourself updated on the news by using their NBC News updates, or watch, clips from the Today Show to keep up with pop culture. In general, it's just a really cool way to keep up with things. Now, Redbox is exciting. Redbox is part of a really quickly growing company that includes Chicken Soup for the Soul, as you see, Crackle, and Popcorn Flicks. It's all under part of Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment. And you see their app is very mature. It's got the section on the side so that you can see what genres you're going to be jumping into. It's got a number of categories. It's got a number of channels within each of those categories. It's been growing over the last few years as this sort of thing has become popular. And now that it's directly owned by Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment, I think we're going to see a lot more content popping on. As you see, there's already a Crackle channel and a Chicken Soup for the Soul channel, but considering the libraries that they've got between those and Popcorn Flicks, I think that you're going to see a lot of stuff popping up on this app. So keep a close eye on it. Look to see if it maybe gets a refresh, an update on its interface. I'm not sure what kinds of programming we're going to see or what kinds of changes we'll see, if any. But it looked like this pretty much before they got bought. So I think that it's going to probably get a bit of a facelift, if my intuition is right. But there's a lot to see here. Redbox also has a very strong on-demand section. It's got an easy-to-search database that allows you to check out different things in different genres. And again, most of it's free, though you do have to be careful as to what you click on. It's fairly obvious when you get to it, but it helps to pay attention. But that's it. Those are really what I think of as the best, easiest to use, free streaming apps on pretty much every platform you can find. Not every single one of these apps is available on every single platform. You'll have to see for yourself by searching for them in your either smart TV interface or streaming device interface. But these are pretty universal. Any which one of them gives you a lot to work with, and when you have a bunch of them, really, you can just watch TV all day, all night, and never run out of new things to see while not paying a dime. They're also a great way to add to what you're already paying for, whether it's Hulu or Netflix or which. I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please share this video with your friends. Please subscribe, give the video a like. As always, I'm Ryan Downey, the Streaming Advisor. Stream on, my friends.